Welcome back to Packs Picks, everybody. I'm here to go over our fourth sealed pool for the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We're going to be going over some of the cards in the pool. Like usual, if you want to see all the cards in the pool, I did post some shorts over the last week going over every single card in the pool. This was a pretty challenging pool for me. I kind of felt a little bit lackluster, so we'll do things a little bit different than in previous videos. I'll start off with the rares and then kind of go through my thoughts for each of the colors, and then talk about the deck that I ultimately settled on at the end. So here's our six rares that we had. I'll just kind of lay them out here. So we had Warden of the Inner Sky, a white human, wants to get counters on it, so it can get Flying and Vigilance, Fabrication Foundry, definitely geared towards the artifact synergies in white, Bringer of the Last Gift, big 8-mana bomb. This one really wants to leverage a lot of the reanimation and graveyard synergies in black. Got Breaches in red, so really efficient pirate. Do like Breaches a lot. Got Malcolm here, another pirate, 2/1, hoping to draw some cards. And we got a Tarian's Soul Cleaver as well. So I'll just start with the white cards, because as I looked at these rares, nothing was super pulling me. I know the black Bringer of the Last Gift, that was definitely pulling me in a direction towards black, but we'll just start with white and see other stuff that we had in our white pool that I liked the look of to go with these white rares. So we did have a couple good low cost flyers in the low drop spot. I do like the synergy between these low flyers and something like Iron Pot Aspirant, where we can put a +1/+1 counter on that on turn 2. So we had a couple of those. But then the pool really fell off from there. So we had Tinker's Tote, a good artifact enabler, and Petrify, but then the rest of our white really wasn't that great. We don't see a lot of the artifact synergies or even some of the white removal that's in the set in this pool, and this is kind of what was left of white here. I was really hoping to get more tokens, more of those gnome tokens in the white pool, so I could really start to go off with Warden of the Inner Sky or some treasure tokens, things like that, but just really wasn't materializing in the white pool this time around, so I ultimately didn't go with white. So the next rare, next color I want to look at is black. So Bringer of the Last Gift, again, 8 mana, 6/6 flyer, brings back all the stuff in your graveyard when you cast it. So I was really looking to see if in the black pool we had a lot of mill and descend strategies in black, but as you might guess, not too much in this pool this time around. So we had things like Another Chance, Screaming Phantom, Greedy Freebooter is another one that you're happy to get in the graveyard. We had Dead Weight as a little removal spell. And then from there, not much that's going to be enabling things like Descend or getting things in our graveyard faster than just combat. We had 2 Deep Goblin Skull Takers, which really care about you descending, so that was great, but once again, just not a lot that's going to help us get to descend. Vito's Inquisitor, and then just some other kind of chaff in the rest of the black pool here. We haven't talked about green yet, or any of the other colors, but there just wasn't a lot of treasures either in the pool that might help me ramp up to Bringer of the Last Gift. There wasn't any ramp in green, so I couldn't really pair black and green to maybe ramp into the big 8 drop. So as much as I like Bringer of the Last Gift, I didn't go with black this time around. And since we're talking about green, we'll take a look at green. So green here, we had a couple of Explore creatures in Cenote Scout and River Herald Guide, and then a couple Malamet Brawlers in the low end, Basking Capybara. And then we start to get into the dinosaurs. So Thrashing Bronodon I really like, 3 mana, can destroy an artifact or enchantment. And then we got some big dinosaurs up at the top end of the curve. And then a couple of interaction spells here in Malamet Battleglyph and Watley's Final Strike. So a decent little green package here. I would like to see a little more of the Explore creatures in the low end. But as we'll see in the red cards, I could see combining some of the dinosaurs here in green with some of the dinosaurs in red to make kind of a red-green dinosaur build ultimately. But that was our green pool. So what that leaves is red and blue, and that is the direction I ended up going with. So we had Breaches, Eager Pillager, who is a pirate, so 3/3 pirate. And we actually had a handful of pirates and at least one other card that cared about pirates in the pool. So we had Breaches as our rare in red, And then we had a couple cards that I like the look of. So we had a belligerent yearling, so a low-cost dinosaur that cares about dinos. And then we had some more dinosaurs in red. So rampaging ceratops, which I really like. Super menace on rampaging ceratops. Panicked allosaurus, seismic monstersaur. So we've got some big dinos at the top end of the curve here in red. A couple of Itali's favor. And then we have a handful of artifacts here. So we've got some equipment-like things that can go for creatures. So we've got a dowsing device here. Sunfire Torch pumps our creature a little bit and then is a removal spell. And then Idol the Deep King, which transforms into another piece of equipment. So these are going to be relevant for the other half of our deck, the blue cards, as we suit up some of the smaller creatures. So I'll go ahead and set out our red cards here, and then we'll get the blue cards out and talk about those. All right, so for the blue cards in our pool, we did have Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel, so a 2/1 pirate again, so something that's going to help trigger breaches, and also a nice low-cost card. We did have an inverted iceberg, so we did have a little bit of mill synergies in blue if we wanted to go black-blue for the mill this time around, but I liked the look of blue back this time. Waterwind Scout, nice merfolk here. And the two cards that I really liked for this build were Oaken Sirens. We had two Oaken Sirens, so 2 pirates, early drops. I really like the idea of taking some of those equipment cards that we had and suiting them up with the Oaken Sirens to help push through a little bit more damage early on in the game until we can build up to some of our bigger dinosaurs that can help us close out the game. So 2 of those, River Herald Scouts, and a Staunch Crewmate that can help us dig up some of our pirates and some more of our artifacts as well. So the ultimate game plan here, get some of these early blue creatures out, help get chipped through some damage, and get to the end game where we can start casting some of our bigger dinosaurs and hopefully close things out. As far as the sideboard, in blue we've got a Chart a Course here, a Shipwreck Sentry. This is one I wasn't sure about putting in, so we do have a handful of artifacts in the deck, 4 or 5 of them. I wasn't sure if that was going to be critical mass enough to make Shipwreck Sentry work. It is another pirate that can help with breaches, but does need to attack to trigger breaches there. So for now, Shipwreck Sentry's in the sideboard. And then we have a couple Tectonic Hazards if we've got a deck that we're playing against with a lot of 1/1s. So that's what we've got going on in the sideboard. So there you have it. That's our 4th deck for the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you have gone with one of the other colors? Would you pair it with a red-green build? Let me know what you're thinking of the format so far. And stick around because we're going to have more pack openings and more decks to build right around the corner. See you there.